Creativity. People have creativity because to them, the God inside them almost thinks it's their reality. So it's so real for somebody to be able to create something that's really crazy because to them in their reality, it's real in its own sense. That's how cartoonists and people that are into comic books and stuff like that, it makes so much sense to them. And it makes so much sense to like people who play Dungeons and Dragons, that play Dungeons and Dragons, that are in mythology or that in the time of the Renaissance and stuff like that. Because something about those times is leading them to what would bring them to be enlightened. Everything that you're doing, whether you're spiritual, non-spiritual, religious, non-religious, I mean, you're always spiritual, but you're not always religious. But spiritual just means that you have a spirit in you. You're part of the big life, love, spiritual science project that has happened since the beginning of time, where the earth in the cosmos began. And I am here to explain it, and I'm being calm and being whatever about it because I now understand, and it's a really hard thing to deal with. And by me being so humble and talking about it so calmly, it's going to make people think that I'm just making it up, but I'm not. Because last night I had such a scary experience. It was worse than a horror movie because it was me in my life, and I felt I was dying. But I realized it was because God was showing me what happens when, like, basically I asked him to, I want to do it for myself. I want to do my day for myself. I want to be left alone. Could you leave me alone? So he left me alone. And then he left me alone to the point where I thought I lost him. And then when I thought to the point where I thought I lost him, I thought to myself, oh no, all the people that I've talked to about God being in me are going to think I'm crazy because now God left me. But I still feel the glow. Why is it not there? I feel that glow. And then I felt like sick to my stomach and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh man, I'm starting to feel sick to my stomach. Maybe it was a demon. And then when I said maybe it was a demon, I thought to myself, but it can't be that. And the voice in my head finally said, aha, I tricked you, didn't I? And I was thinking, like, what do you mean you tricked me? And it was like, you asked me to leave you alone, but then at the same time, if I'm not with you, I won't be able to guide you from those other parts. Like the guardian angels and stuff like that people call, is really you when you develop another piece of you. Like the God inside me is doing a million things at one time. Now that he's acting through my brain, which my brain is doing a billion things, and you think that your brain's performing all these crazy things at one time is amazing? Well, picture the subconscious mind and you sneezing when your nose tickles as a act of divine nature. You don't plan that, but it happens. It's an act of free will. When water flows, it's free will. When the river flows, it's free will. When the sun shines, it's free will. The sun can shine if it wants to, and it cannot shine if it didn't want to. But the sun realizes it's the sun, so it's going to shine, 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 and it loves it. And why would it want to stop shining? It wouldn't. It's like through me telling it now, sun, you never have to stop shining. It'll never stop shining because it knows that somebody has found that we are actually connected to it and can explain how from the beginning till now. That's awesome. I mean, and all the details don't really matter. And I can explain how the details don't matter. And all the other stuff doesn't really matter. And I can explain how that doesn't matter. And I just realized that I don't know if I lost my phone and I can't find my phone. And I put all that stuff on those phones. And I was like, oh man, I lost those phones. But I realized that that also doesn't even matter. Because I am it. So all the stuff that I have recorded, I was like, oh, I got to record this stuff. This is important. Oh, yeah. All the words that people hear aren't going to matter unless they feel it. It's that feeling deep down underneath everything else that there is. The feeling and the sensation and the spirit is what matters. So don't worry about hurting, harming, killing, fitting in, trending, looking pretty. I mean, do all that too. Except for the killing stuff. Do all the nice stuff. Do all the good stuff. And when I say good and bad, we know what good and bad are. We don't have to label things with words. Don't do things that are going to harm others or harm yourself. Be harmonious. Harm no one else. Harmonious, harm no one else. How about that? You want to live harmonious, harm no one else. I love you, and I'll talk to you later, because Dan wants to have some fun.